Hi everybody, this is M from DIYM, and today I'm going to attempt to make some packaging for some jewelry that I'm going to make. I haven't made the jewelry quite yet, but I want to make it so that things are ready for the jewelry. So this is going to be a fairly straightforward video. I didn't really do too much to show you, unfortunately, but yeah, I did make some boxes on Photoshop. I'll show you sort of digitally how I did that, but not really. It's briefly going over things and how I made stuff, so I just wanted to show you a little bit and then cut things out and assemble, because I feel like it would have been too long to show you the whole assembly of things. But so I have here, I mainly wanted to use this, but I'm using these for size and dimensions and a few other things. I think I did the nutrition facts on these guys. But yeah, so I got these Count Chocula and Franken Berry cereals last year for Halloween, so I wanted to do something with them because I was so excited that I found these. And it has the images of the marshmallows on them, which I think is really cool, and I'm going to be using that for my other video that I'm going to hopefully do soon. So, but yeah, so I thought that these were really cute, simple boxes. It was great because they've got a bonus cutout mask on the back, and I'll just flip that around just to show you that. So it's these guys here. I thought that they were super cute. I kept the boxes because I obviously love this, and it has little things on the side panels, so I kind of used that as well. So yeah, I store this in my cupboard because I wanted to do this, and I thought that this was going to be really fun to make. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to Photoshop and print up some small boxes that I could easily make. These small little, boxes that they come in packs. I thought it'd be really cute to make those, and then if you're going to send them in Happy Mail or just for somebody's birthday or for Halloween or whatever, obviously for Halloween in this case, you could make these kind of little boxes. So I basically made it like a template in Photoshop, and I'll show you guys that pretty soon. But yeah, I wanted to tell you that it's not a very detailed tutorial. I just took stuff from the internet and just put them in its place. I measured out these boxes and I just tried to do similar dimensions and tried to do the top of the box. I didn't do the barcode for the boxes, these barcodes, but I did try to do side panels, this panel, the back of the box, and the nutrition facts. So I did the side panels, top panel, and then most of these were left blank, but similar colors of the box, if that makes sense to everybody. But yeah, so I'm just going to show you guys that. I'm going to show you the digital video, and then I'm going to show you the print ups next. Okay, so I got a bunch of stuff from the internet that I thought would be cool. I didn't do the blueberry guy, but I did the Count Chocula guy. So these are from the internet. A lot of these images. I'm not going to sell these or anything like that, so I feel like this is hopefully okay. I did this for fun. And I think it's okay to make stuff like this to give away to people if you decide to do that sort of thing. But if you're going to sell it, I think that's another story. But yeah, I took the stuff from the internet, copy and pasted it, or I did a print screen of stuff, depending. But I tried to get the most head-on view of the box covers. This one was a little askew, but I photoshopped it to make it a lot more even. Yes, these were the masks that I found. Again, I didn't get a box cover for the blueberry one. I could do that if I want to, but I don't really feel like doing that one because I just wanted to focus on the Count Chocula and Franken Berry one. But yeah, so I did that, and then I'll just show you guys. I'm going to open this up in Photoshop. So I made a nutrition facts panel and ingredients panel with kind of the same image here. You could always change this around if you wanted to. And then I just kind of copied the exact ingredients from the large box that I got. So this is pretty much exact ingredients, maybe kind of laid out a little bit differently. And this is just the address that was on there, email address and that sort of thing. So I just did that. And so this is the nutrition facts for the smaller Rice Krispies box I think I looked at. I don't think it was the Fruit Loops box. So I did the side panel nutrition facts for that, and I tried to keep it in line with the similar look of the larger box because the larger box didn't seem to have the General Mills there, so I just kept that. But yeah, I tried to do that. I tried to lay it out in such a way there should be like a panel here when I cut things out, just so that when I glue that down and then attach it to the other side. And then these guys, I'm going to taper them in a little bit when I cut things out, but vast majority of this, when I'm cutting things out, I'm going to try to keep that in line with this line here, and then this is a fold line. So a lot of this is fold lines. Unfortunately, you can't really see the fold lines for this, but I could always, if I wanted to, on the TIFF image, like I did a TIFF file of this. This is a PNG. On the TIFF file, I could always outline stuff like I did here. I outlined this guy so that I knew where to cut, and that would be a little easier for me to cut everything. But yeah, I just did panels to match the color scheme of the brown here. I could have done some extra stuff. I could have done a little barcode down here if I wanted to, because that's normally where the barcode barcode is. But yeah, I could have done some extra stuff here, but I just decided to leave things solid just so I had some tabs to fold down. But this is basically an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and then I just measured everything as much as I could for the small box and tried to lay things out as much as I could. So it should be about the size when I cut things out. Oh, the small cereal box. So hopefully that works out. We'll see. So there's that. And then I did the Franken Berry one. This one's very bright. Yeah, so again, similar layout, just different color schemes. I guess I could have done a darker purple like the Franken Berry box. It is a darker purple on mine, but I didn't do the exact box. I could have, if I wanted to, do the exact box that I own. I could have technically scanned it on the computer, but I didn't feel like scanning things, so I just took stuff from online. It was really easy to alter. I was going to do different ingredients because I think there are some different ingredients probably for the Franken Berry and the Count Chocula, but I just kept it the same. It wasn't that big of a deal. I could alter this and change this if I wanted to, but yeah, this isn't even for the Count Chocula. This is Rice Krispies stuff. So it's not the exact information, but it looks like it. So that's basically how I did that. It's just fun packaging for my jewelry that I made. Yeah, so this is the PNG of what I did, and I'm going to just flip it so I can print it. Sorry, I'm not showing you exactly how I made the box, guys. I tried to make everything roughly the size of what I was going to do, and then I placed stuff side by side. That's how I made it, but I want to print things. So I'm going to just go to image rotation. So I'm just going to go the first 90 degrees, and then the same thing with this one. I'm just going to go image rotation, first 90 degrees. Doesn't really matter which way you have it. Okay, and I'm going to get some cardstock. Okay, I'm going to try to print this guy first. Oh my god, so amazing. I'm just gonna print up the next one. Okay, so I printed up both of them and I'll show you how that goes. Okay, so these are the printouts. They look so good. I'm so excited. I'm gonna bring back the small boxes. So it's about the same size, I'd say, around there. Maybe a little bit bigger. Yeah, it looks like it's about the same size, which is really good. That's what I wanted. But yeah, it's cool. So this had a little bit happening here, but this seemed to print right to the edge, so I don't have to cut this off, which is kind of nice. But what I wanted to do now, see how this has a glossy tone to it? I do want to put something on top of it, so I might laminate it. I might do cold lamination. This is my squeegee. I know this is not a normal squeegee, but anyways, I'm gonna do them one at a time. I'm gonna try to do them not as carefully as I have. These are just regular, they're not rainbowy or anything like that. So we'll see how well this works out. I've done this once before on the counter where it was a lot more waist height. I'm gonna try to do what I normally do, which is fold this back. Don't know if I'm gonna love, I'm gonna try doing this. I'm gonna see if I can do something along here. Okay, so I'm going to try to line it up the best that I can. I want to try to line up the sides here before I put it down. I also want to try to line up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it low and do it quickly. So I did it really quickly. It's better than doing it slow, I find. And I'm just going to cut this stuff off. I have new scissors. There we go. Okay, so I have one here. I'm going to cut things with a trimmer, and I'll try not to cut this edge off, but I will taper things in here. So I'll show you guys that process too. But first I want to do the other one, so hopefully that works out. Let's see here. So I'm going to do a similar thing, trying to line it up there. Fold it back at least a few inches here. Trying to line up down here a little bit, okay, as much as I can, but I also want to line up across here. Oops, oh no, okay, oh, okay, good. No bubbles there. Oh, there might be a bit of a bubble here, oh shoot. It's not too bad, actually. Yeah, it's a lot more successful doing it that way, I feel. Okay, cool. So now both of these guys are laminated, and I'm just going to do some trimmer cuts. This took me all day to assemble this box on the computer, so I don't want to trim off this part, but I want to trim off at least the top, and this guy is perfect. Okay, so I'm going to just cut and just trim that like that. Okay, again, don't want to do these parts, these sides. This part here that's not laminated is going to be glued on the inside of here, if that makes sense to you guys, okay? And then this line was good. I'm gonna try to see if I can just line it up down the middle here. Okay, cool. So that's one. I'll do some more cutting and then I'll fold things afterward. But yeah, it's nice and shiny, which is awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this guy same way. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm gonna put that away. All right, so I'm just gonna taper this. Okay, taper that slightly as well on that side. Okay, same thing here. I'm just gonna taper this slightly. I'm gonna do a lot of tapering now at this stage. A bit of a taper here, taper here, okay, a taper here, a taper here. Okay, I'm also going to cut off this part. It could be a little shorter too, probably. It's fine for the tabs. You can also round the edges if you want to. Not necessary, but you can totally do that. I should have moved this over a little bit, but that's okay. It's not that big a deal. Just try to taper it slightly. Taper that. Here, so this is coming together, I think. Okay, and then I'm gonna taper. Well, I'm gonna do this side first, I think. Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna just do a similar thing on the Count Chocula one. I do want to fold things and just make sure that everything looks good there, first of all. So I'm gonna get a specific tool for that. I have these tools. They're also kind of like bone folders, sort of, when you're using them, but they're a little bit more accurate, I feel. This might blend in a little bit, but I'm gonna use my fun ruler. You can use a metal ruler. You can use any kind of ruler you'd like. And I'm gonna see if I can get one of the finer ballpoint things here. So this one looks like it's one of the finer ones. So I want to make sure that everything folds okay. You can use a bone folder or something like that to make sure that everything folds okay. This is gonna look so cute! I'm so excited! So this is gonna be good for gluing on this side. Oh, that's gonna glue down nicely. That's gonna look so cute. Okay, I'm so excited about this guy. You have no clue how excited I am. I've been wanting to do this for so long. You can take your ruler to make sure things are nice and creased. It doesn't have to be a bone folder or your fingernail. So fun! Okay, so that's that. So as you can see for the smaller boxes here, they don't have this. See how this has lots of things cut out here for the bigger boxes? That doesn't really happen for the smaller boxes. So that's why I'm keeping them like this. It's a lot simpler to make it too, I feel. Basically, we have ourselves a little cereal box. I love it so much. I'm so excited about this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this part, and then I'm going to glue the bottom part. But I'm going to, so it's a little easier to open, I'm going to put a couple of Velcro dots, just so it's a little easier to open the top. So yeah, if you want to glue things down, you can totally use Barely Arts glue. I personally just want to try to use these double-sided tape. So you'd have to do it on the outside here where the images are, okay, if you're going to be folding it in. Okay. I'm going to try to line it up the best I can right here. If you want to, you can get a bone folder if you're doing this. Yeah, you can use a ruler if you want to make sure things are down. It's not a very sturdy ruler to try to do that with. And then if you want to, you can tape the inside too of this and run a little bit of tape along here. There we go. So cute. I love it. So cute. Okay, so I'm just gonna get some Velcro dots, smaller ones, probably maybe 3 of them, and put them along there. You can do other closures, but that's what I'm going to do. So I'm gonna do these small pink closures. Okay, so I'm just doing 3. So I'm just going to attach them like you would with Velcro. So the glue side is facing up, okay? And then try to make it as even as you possibly can. And take them off and then just make sure that they're secured on there. If you want to, you can glue them on a little bit more with maybe some barely arts glue or something, but that's pretty much that. Pop up a little bit, but yeah, there you go. That's cute, right? There we go. And yeah, you can just put something in there and then somebody can fish out the thing that you put in there. So cute, right? So from this flat thing here to this, I think it looks so cute. I'm going to assemble this off screen and then I'm going to show you guys how they both look together. I don't think that the General Mills has made small packs of cereal like that. I've never seen it. I've never seen Lucky Charms, or you know what I mean? There's only certain ones I've seen. I don't know if they're different in the States or if they have small versions, but I think this is really, really cute. I think this is really fun, and I'm gonna try to assemble this, and then maybe I'll put my jewelry thing in here in another video. Okay, and here we are, guys. I made both of these fun boxes. So they have little masks you can cut out. Probably good for a relatively large doll. I don't know. That'd be kind of funny, actually. But yeah, so I made these. As I said, they're probably a little bit bigger. Yeah, they're a lot bigger, actually. A lot bigger than these smaller boxes. Yeah. But they're about that height. It's just that the box itself is wider with the images that I have. Anyways, I think they look super duper cute regardless. What do you guys think? So you could obviously do, when I did my Lucky Charms jewelry, you can definitely make a box similar to that if you make a bunch of those marshmallow charms. So you can make a box like this if you want to, and then top things. But if you want to make something really simple and fast, but still really cool, cute, and presentable, this is a fun thing you can do for the cereals. I feel like if I wanted to, I could totally make a Lucky Charms box too, which I think would be super cute, similar size. I think that'd be so cute, right? What do you guys think? And yeah, you can totally do the other monsters too, like the blueberry, and there's all sorts of different types of monsters. I think there's a werewolf one, and I think there's a newer one. I don't remember if she's like a vampire or something like that, but I think it's apple cinnamon cereal or something. I can't remember what it was. It was some sort of cinnamony cereal. It didn't really sound appealing to me specifically, but I just picked up these two cereals last year and I thought that they were really cool. So yeah, so these are really cool. If you laminate these, at least with one-sided lamination techniques, or do the cold lamination techniques, then it should work out pretty well. I almost did the pink Velcro, but I did the clear ones for this, and that's just white on the top here. Just did clear so that looks cool as well. You can do that, and you can still see it popping up a bit, but I feel like it pops down a little bit more than this pink one. So the clear ones might be the way to go. These ones are almost like fluffier, I think, so they kind of pop up a little bit more. Anyways, I think they're still cute regardless. Yeah, let me know down below if you would make this sort of thing. I think that they're super cute, and I hope you guys like them too. You can even make your own type of cereal box if you're really into designing cereal boxes. I think that designing cereal boxes are really, really fun. It's kind of a thing that I think a lot of graphic designers really like doing. Yeah, just let me know if you would do something like this, and hopefully you guys liked that video. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe and share the video if you think somebody else is going to like this content. But yeah, hopefully everybody has an amazing Halloween. If you guys are watching this around Halloween, if you're watching it at a different date, take care. Have a good one, everybody. Okay, bye!